All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Halfmoon Township Board of Supervisors. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Tonight's meeting is being recorded live for YouTube CNET channel. Are there any public comments from anybody like to speak about anything on or off the agenda tonight? Anyone? Hearing none. Approval of the minutes. Minutes for June 13th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion by the board? Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Consent agenda. Ratification of the bills list for 6/11/2024 to 6/24/2024 from the following: General Fund, $30,255.06. Park and Rec Fund in the amount of $580.99. Ratification of the bills also for the period of 06/25/24 to 07/05/24 from the following funds: the General Fund, the amount of $28,699.65. An acknowledgement of the resignation letter for Derek Reese, Public Works Laborer. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion by the board? Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next up. Zoning Agricultural District A1 revisions and Saldo 2015 to 24 Rural Preservation Design Standard revisions. Mr. Rilk, our
Sure.
planner, is up.
For the past couple months, staff and the Planning Commission have been working to amend the RPD, which is currently located in the SALDO. RPD stands for Rural Preservation Design Standards. We want to move them to the A1 district because that is the only district that they occur in. So it makes sense for clarity for staff and for the developers in general. Other than that, the major changes to it, we allowed for the open land requirements that are in there. No portion of that open land is permitted to be used as a stormwater basin for septic or sewage. Anybody has any questions about the changes to that? I'd be happy to entertain them.
What does that mean for the property owners?
The property owner still has the exact same ability to do what they need to do. It's just the open land that would remain open, or for agricultural uses preferably, wouldn't be allowed to have stormwater basins or things like that attached to it.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
At the same time, we actually worked to amend the agricultural district as well. It was pretty basic. It was just some language updates, and we moved all of the permitted uses and allowable uses into a table that's right there, so you're not flipping back and forth between pages trying to figure out what's allowable and what's not. And I should add too, in addition, we've been also working with the subdivision and land development ordinance to amend or abolish some of the fire regulation requirements for sprinkler systems and cisterns that was permitted in the past.
Okay. So we're getting rid of regulation.
Potentially. That's
Okay.
up to you guys though.
I added the work at length, and I think that's a good job.
Yeah, I gotta say, everybody
Simplifies
did a good
things,
job on
clarifies
that.
things, puts them in the right place too.
Well, I have to say too, staff, Amy has done a wonderful job with that, as well as the PC, and I have to commend Mark Bokel, the former planner, and the former zoning officer for doing that as well. They did a great job.
Anything else you'd like to add?
That is it.
All right, we got a possible motion. Would anybody like a motion to approve the standards and forward them on to the Center Region Planning for review?
I'll make that motion.
I hear a second.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion by the board? Hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Approved. Certainly.
Did anyone do any even quick calculations on how much the requirements for the sprinkler systems and so forth add to the cost of a house?
I do know that at the time the regulations were put in initially, they were talking about $1.05 to $1.20 something a square foot. But that was a long time ago. And I will tell you, the township had no right to approve those regulations to begin with.
You're not getting an argument here, I'm actually asking for
It's
information.
probably 10 times that much.
Yeah, I mean, that was back, what, in the early 2000s?
99.
Yeah.
So there was no investigation into how much it is adding to the cost of a house.
Well, as I was saying, at that time, over $1 a square foot. But you have to convert it from $1999 to today. And the price of PVC plastic and sprinkler heads and everything else is through the roof. I'm not even sure that even equates to the inflation rate, so it's substantial.
I believe it, I'm just wondering if anyone had actually looked into how much it does add to the cost.
No. I know it adds to the cost considerably.
Well, that's not.
I have one question too. On
Okay.
the half-acre lots, does it still require you to have 2 septic systems in that half acre?
That is our policy, no matter what size the lot is. You have to have a primary and a backup.
Is there much room in a half acre to put?
Well, usually this backup is not on the lot itself. The primary is usually on the lot, and then the backup area is somewhere else, in the open space or somewhere else on the property. That's how Trotter Farms is done.
Well, I thought your restrictions on open space, I don't
That-
know why you would allow a sewage system in the open space.
That's, well, just to clarify too, that's open land, open space and open land get kind of thrown around a little bit, but, no, we're making it be on the lot. It can't be
Okay.
in the open land, and most of that is because we want to keep that land to be agriculturally used, or we want to make it if it's a playground or something for children, you don't want children to be playing in a stormwater basin or areas like that, so that's kind
I
of.
understand that part, but I'm not sure that you're ensuring that you're not gonna end up with a sewage system someday.
Well, there's no way to guarantee against that. I mean, we've done the best we can do having a backup area for the houses, so, which is more
And
than,
have minimum lot sizes still.
yeah.
And have it pumping every.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you know, we're in sewage management, so everybody has to pump every 3 years, and not that we necessarily want to be, but that's how it is, so. That answer your question somewhat?
Yeah. Somewhat.
Okay. Anybody else? Ms. Breon?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Just a clarity, so what you're saying with these changes was just making the current regulations more clear? There wasn't any changes, it was just making the existing,
So all of the RPD design standards were located in our subdivision and land use ordinance, but they only really occur within the agricultural district. So just for clarity, there were some minor edits, some language cleanup, and we added the septic issue for the open land requirement, but everything was taken out of Saldo and then just put into the A1 zoning district. Just so we're not flipping back between pages, and it can get confusing for staff or for developers for that matter.
It's confusing enough.
It is.
Anybody else? Okay.
I think you have a motion and second,
A
right?
motion and second. Do I hear a motion, or all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. So we'll forward it on. This is not adoption of the regulations, this is just a move it on for the review. So. All right, next up, Center Region COG Program Plan Municipal Review. I'm going to say Mr. Cervello has done an excellent job as usual, digging into these issues, and I'm going to make a motion that we forward his review comments to the Center Region. Do I hear a second? Moving second. Any discussion by the board?
I went through the plan page by page in detail and noted whatever issues I had or if I agreed. I mean, these are consent comments, but I did my best to try to respond, probably provide commentary that's appropriate. So it was a long process, and I come up with what I came up with. So and I don't think
We
there were any
appreciate that.
comments, other inputs. So
Okay, call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll forward your comments into the COG powers that be.
Okay.
Roadmaster job description. We have a new, Brett, do you want to just do a quick rundown for the public?
Yeah, there were just a few kind of inconsistencies between the roadmaster and the laborer. For instance, lifting weight, one's at 65, one's at 80. Just tidying up a couple of those, as well as it's always been a practice for the roadmaster to at least be involved in the hiring of the public works laborers, but it didn't specify anything within the job description, so we added a little bit of verbiage for that. Short of that, it's the same roadmaster job description that we've had for a few years now.
Not a promotion, it's not a change, it's just clarification of,
And same thing with number 9 with labor, it was just changing a couple things around. With our fleet changing from more non-CDL vehicles to CDL, we at least loosened the regulations a little bit for the laborer.
okay. All right, do I hear a motion to amend the roadmaster's job description?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moving second, any discussion by the board? Call for the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next on Public Works labor job description, same deal, getting things in line like they should be. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
A motion to approve, do I hear a second?
Second.
Moving second, any discussion by the board? Call for the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next up, Resolution 2024-14, Personnel Policy Adoption. Brett, you want to,
Same as those, it was changing, there were references to the public works lead, that is a job that's no longer being currently held, it needed switched to roadmaster, as well as there were a few references that should have been to my job, and it was no longer, so we had to fix those. The only other change was the fact that the board is altering how they do the uniform allowance, where we are going to provide 3 shirts annually that the employee is responsible for, and then they must return upon their departure.
okay. All right, do I hear a motion to approve Resolution 2024-14?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moving second, any other discussion by the board? Call for the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next up, appointment of full-time Public Works laborer. Brett, since you're the personnel guy, you want to lay it out? I know I keep dumping it on you.
No, that's fine. So earlier you acknowledged the resignation letter of Mr. Reese. Tomorrow is his last day, tomorrow morning actually. And at that point, we are requesting the board fill his vacant position with Wesley Layton, who is one of our current part-time public works laborers. He's a young gentleman that's showing loads of potential, a willingness to learn, and a great attitude. And we're willing to invest in him as long as the board's willing to.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve him?
I move to approve.
I hear a second.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion by the board? Call for the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you can let Wesley know where he stands.
Yep.
I'm sure he's probably gritting his teeth somewhere. Appointment of part-time Public Works laborer.
Well, as snowball effect would have it, with Mr. Layton's position opening up, Mr. Neff was a gentleman who had actually applied when we were hiring for just a mowing position a year or 2 ago. He showed strong potential, great work ethic. He was employed with a few of municipality type deals in the past. He was just looking for something to do to get out of the house, and we can oblige.
We got great jobs for just to get out of the house.
Yep.
Do I hear a motion to appoint Tom Neff as public part-time?
So moved.
Got a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Call for the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next up, township reports. Brett, you got anything for the treasurer's report?
Nothing to add, no.
Amy?
Nope.
Chuck?
Nothing.
Roadmaster?
If I have questions.
Okay, and authority and board committee reports are available online. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moving second. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.